Have you ever wondered why some products inspire fanatical devotion and long-term retention? Well, I sure have. And today we're going to peek behind the curtain and look at the creation and evolution of long-running MMO, EVE Online. While its competitors have come and gone, this space multiplayer battle game has been going strong for over 2 decades. And many of EVE's players have been engaged with the game for over 10 years. So how did the team at CCP Games pull this off? Recently, I got to sit down with CEO Hilmar Pétursson and learn more about their journey to product market fit. Listen in and find out how an unlikely team of gaming newbies from Iceland created the longest running MMO of all time.
We are acutely aware of the fact that people stay for a long time in EVE Online due to the community that has been created around it. All throughout the game's development, we had this operating thesis that people would join for the graphics and stay for the community. That was kind of the shorthand we had created. And we have basically been operating the company on this basis for maybe the good first 15 years. We went and did a pretty deep study in 2018, I think we started doing it. We had a researcher who spent a lot of time doing surveys, did about 100 interviews with EVE players and gathered together a lot of insights into this. Because the join for the graphics, stay for the community is not a very actionable concept. It's hard for an individual on a game development team to understand how you relate to building for a community in a very aggregated sense. And it's also true, and you learn that pretty quickly, that most communities are a collection of micro communities within them. But in any case, what we found out is that it is more person-to-person relationship that really form the community. EVE Online is really held together by friendships that have been created because of the game. We always found this kind of story of how people got into making a friend inside the game. And that is a lot more actionable than join for the graphics, stay for the community. So as we started to get a more sort of facile sense that it's really person-to-person relationship that create this web retention that really make up the community, then we started to think more about how does a friendship really get created. And there is actually a formula for how relationships are created. The formula has 4 components. It's proximity, duration, frequency, and intensity. So to make a friend, you have to have proximity to the person. There has to be a certain frequency to the interaction. If it is somebody that you just meet once a year, it is not likely to develop into a deep friendship. There needs to be duration. If it's a very short engagement, maybe it's a person you meet at a coffee shop every day on your way to work. That's frequent and has proximity, but not long duration. And then there has to be intensity. And what we found out is that EVE Online, mainly due to its death penalty, which was always something we were acutely focused on. The first line of the script of EVE Online is death is a serious matter. So we were very much intuitively on that vein to begin with. But that intensity is really what forges the relationships. And there are kind of time factors for this formula. It takes like 100 hours to make an acquaintance. It takes 300 hours to make a friend. It takes 1,000 hours to make a childhood, lifelong friend kind of level. But the intensity of the interaction accelerates this quite a bit. And we have heard a lot of people that have, for example, gone to war with others and have been involved in actual combat. They say that EVE Online feels similar to that. It seems that this intensity part of EVE Online, where there really is something at stake every single time you undock your ship, and the friends you have and the trust you have in the game is really your major asset. As EVE players say, the best ship in EVE Online is friendship, which is like you are really a function of how many trusted people you have inside the game. And this web of person-to-person relationships that form micro community and then the aggregate community is really the reason why the game has been around for 20 years.
We all have a lot to learn from EVE Online. I especially love the insight that strong one-to-one friendships are the basis for a long-lasting community. But as we know, building a community is just the start. Then you have to run it. And that's where things get wild. In our next video, we're going to look at how CCP handled a major community crisis and how their controversial response ultimately strengthened the game. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video in the series and you get to learn the secrets of long-term retention. I'll see you next week.